It's caught in the crossfire. It's caught in the crossfire.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the Dinner Convo. I am Fardin bin Farouk, joined by my friends and co-hosts.
I am Anna Fadl.
I'm Shan Khan.
And I am Mohammad Fahim Nawaz.
In case you guys missed our very first episode, I will tell you about what the Dinner Convo is about. So, this page is dedicated to motivate you, to inspire you. This is not just a regular podcast, it is much more than that. It will be like similar conversations where you have on dinner tables, where everyone has the liberty to share your feelings. Okay, so every episode we'll bring a couple of guests very successful in their respective fields so that they can share their stories of success, their stories of struggles with you guys, the best listeners again.
So, if you haven't checked out our first podcast, then please do so because we had the privilege to talk to one of the most famous food bloggers, Mark Weens, and two brilliant beatboxers, Decoy and Maddox. So, it's going to be really nice if you check it out.
Hey guys, that was great. So, without any further ado, let's just get into the conversation. If you guys have been following our Instagram, which is at the Dinner Convo, it'll be left in the description box below. You can follow it because we all post our updates there. They're quite regular there. If you have any messages, you can send it to us. We'll try to reply in the best of our abilities. So, if you have been following our Instagram, you probably know who the next guest is. But in case you didn't, let me tell you a little bit about our next guest. Our next guest is basically what the definition of a fantastic person. He has been traveling the world ever since 2008 and exploring different cultures and food, trying to get to know more about the world around us. So he has traveled to more than 10,000 cities. He's traveled to a lot of cities. Well, keeping count is just too hard because he's just traveled pretty much all around the world. He has also documented all those experiences and shared it all with all of us on YouTube, which has allowed him to gain over 600,000 subscribers. Joining us all the way from Florida, Miami, Florida, David Hoffmann from David's Vineyards. David, can we have you here?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Yes,
We're
we're
doing great. How are you?
asking.
Very good, man. Here in hot Florida.
All right, David. Thank you for your time. Before we begin, huge shout out to Brandon who works alongside David. He helped us a lot while setting up the meetings and stuff. So thank you, Brandon. It really means a lot. And without further ado, let's just go to the basic questioning. David, you're a travel blogger, and this pandemic has not only brought a huge impact on all of our lives, and especially it has brought most significant impacts on lives of people like you, people who travel around the world, show us their experiences because traveling has pretty much been stopped at this particular moment. So, how are you coping with this particular situation? So,
Yeah, I mean, obviously being in travel business, this is not ideal. Putting everything on hold for, already 4 months, probably will be another 2, 3, 4 more months of, not being able to just go anywhere. Restrictions will be high. It's going to be really, really difficult to travel. Just as it was, that's going to be impossible until there is a vaccine. And, once you get a vaccine, then you're going to have some type of documentation, almost like yellow fever. Same thing when you go to a country that has yellow fever, you have to have the documentation that says you had it. So, I mean, for me, what I've done is that I've luckily my state has opened up, which is bad in a way because now we're the red spot of the pandemic. Unfortunately, we have like the highest cases yesterday, 10,000 in Florida. But what I've been doing is I've been creating a series here in Miami, of food series, because I wanted to show the diversity of the cuisine here. I'm filming a video Monday through Friday, every single day filming a video. I start releasing the series July 15th, and every episode will be a different cuisine. So it's called like the Miami Street Food Series, it's not really street food in the sense how it is in India, where you eat on the street, because here it's illegal to do that. You have either food trucks or you have restaurants that serve, street food from whatever nation they're from. So that's what I've been doing. I've filmed the 15 episodes so far. I have, every single, like, for the next 3 weeks, at least 5 a week that I'm shooting. I'm going from Vietnamese to American to Argentine, Indian. I mean, jumping around every type of cuisine, at least trying to hit, let's say 20 plus different nationality dishes. So that's what I've been up to. Obviously, at the same time, planning, my next trips. Have planned to go to Georgia, Lithuania, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh. I mean, these are like, they're there. I'm ready to go when this thing, slows down. So we'll see about the travel right now.
Yeah, we'll be happy to have you in Bangladesh here because it's a huge honor for any travel blogger to come to our country. It's just huge. It's just massive. Speaking of your travel plans, what usually before the pandemic happened, what usually goes through your mind before you're like traveling to a country, say a country you've never been before?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, so the way I do things now is that I plan trips according to what I really want to do. Obviously there's a strategy behind it. So like India, it's the reason I've traveled there so much in the past 2 years. I've gone 4 times, but the reason I've gone so much is because it's so diverse. Also, it's a gold mine when it comes to creating content. You make amazing content, people speak English, and then it does well online. If I went to China, amazing place. Personally, I enjoy going there, but the content doesn't do well because first off, it's blocked. YouTube is blocked there, and people don't speak English. So there's like a strategy when you think about where to go and what to film. Like for me, I have a list of the next 20 countries I really want to visit. And I just look, first off, do I have an audience there already? Can somebody help me there? Will a tourism board help me? I already sort of have like my idea of the trip. I've done my research. So it really depends on the opportunity. That's where it comes down to.
Right, that sounds
So
really
is
interesting.
the
Sean, with having problems, can you please repeat the question? Sorry for that, Dave.
Yeah, no problem.
It's just that networks here, just.
oh yeah. So is Bangladesh? Oh,
Yes, Shan, you can.
Yeah, we have you now.
oh yeah. So is Bangladesh in that list?
Yeah. Bangladesh is on the list. I've been
Oh
trying to
yeah,
go.
that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, if you're
Okay,
trying to,
David.
I,
Okay,
I
David,
lost you
what?
guys.
Yeah. David,
yes,
what inspired you to travel?
What
You can
inspired
continue,
me to
fine.
travel? What inspired me to travel?
What inspired you to enter the travel industry?
I mean, for me, it was more that I already was traveling when I decided to do this. I've been traveling, man, already over 20 years of real travel. I started traveling in my teens when I was 15, my first like real trip to Europe, and then after that, it was every opportunity I had. I do either family, visit friends, or do solo trips. Before I was 18, I already had like over 12 solo trips under my belt. Obviously, hard to do it, but I managed to save up money, and that's what my goal was, to make money and go travel. It was my ultimate passion. But then eventually, I got into the industry because I wanted to travel for a living. That was like the goal. I want to travel for a living. I want to travel around the world. I want to see everything I can before I die, and if I can make money while doing it and inspire people at the same time, great.
So, David, you have traveled around almost the whole world. Which place was your favorite, or which place did you like the most to visit?
Yeah, I mean, it's so favorite. I don't really have a favorite. I'd say, obviously I mentioned India, but the reason why I believe in going there, and also, just the South Asia region, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, this whole area, is that it's so diverse. That's why I enjoy it the most. You know, first off, people, the hospitality in this area is amazing. Second, food is delicious. Third, everybody speaks English, and then every day is an adventure. You don't know what you're gonna get, you know. And you guys said you're in Bangladesh, right? So like,
Yeah.
Yep.
so Bangladesh, I know it's like, you know, obviously it was part of India at one point. It's similar culture, similar, you know, ideas, similar food. So I know that it's like it's another gold mine in terms of like content. You know, everywhere you go, every time you turn, something's happening. You know, something's happening. So it's interesting compared to like the Western world where, you know, things are just like, you know, like cookie cutter almost. Like here, I know I'm going to the restaurant. I know what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna go to the kitchen, and I know it's gonna happen. Over there, no, I don't know. You know, we might see something crazy happen along the way. You know, so it's just like it's that effect that it's really intriguing.
I think I believe you love the food in Bangladesh. It's great.
Oh, I know, I will. I know. You
Yeah.
guys are in Dhaka.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we are in
Yeah.
Dhaka.
Yeah.
The most congested city in the world now, right? I think it's like the. That's what
Yeah.
I heard.
We have our fair share of, you know, like
Very densely
drawbacks.
populated.
Yeah, but
Yep.
you know, it's just that we enjoy the city a lot. You know, speaking of Bangladesh, you know, like you talked about cultures and stuff. You know, you should definitely try it because you know, like the food, the very popular food in Southeast Asia is biryani. I think you've heard of it.
I've eaten it 1,000 times.
Exactly. The biryani you eat in India is going to be far different from the biryani you eat in Bangladesh or
Okay.
in Pakistan because you
Okay.
know none of it is it's there's no comparison, but it's
Okay.
that every single biryani has its own unique taste. And since we are talking about food, David, how big of a role does eating while traveling, like you know, play in your life?
You know, dude, it's funny because I really got into the food to into food as creating content about food about 3 years ago. But it always was like the number one thing, you know, because when I travel, I'm always thinking about what I'm gonna eat, breakfast, lunch, dinner, you know, always. And then I always researching where to eat, you know, for driving from this city to this city, what we're gonna eat on the way, you know, obviously because you have to eat, but I'm interested in knowing what we're gonna eat. So I mean, for me now, it's like the main thing. Like, what I don't just I'm not going to, let's say, Bangladesh and I'm gonna eat, you know, McDonald's. Never. I mean, I personally don't even eat fast food, but I would never eat. Like, I want to eat when I go to Bangladesh. I want to eat only Bangladesh food, breakfast, lunch, dinner. You know, middle of the night, only that food. And so for me, it's more about, you know, you really get to know a place through the food. Some people say no, it's people culture, whatever. I'm like, yeah, but the food binds us all. You know, we can be completely different. You could be from the streets of Bangladesh, the billionaire, but we have biryani together, and we have a conversation, and it binds us. You know, like you said, dinner conversation. The only thing we're missing right now is the biryani.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, if we ever you know like meet you in Bangladesh, we'll do another
Yeah.
episode of the dinner convo while eating biryani.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that was very inspirational to hear, you know, because not a lot of people would talk about, you know, this particular aspect, how food binds all. You know, people are like, you know, food is very important. It's essential for you to live, and it helps you come together. It helps you understand culture. But what very interesting thing that you brought up is, you know, how food when people of different socioeconomic class eat together, it doesn't really matter what they're about, what where they're from. What
Yeah,
matters is they're having a great conversation, which is something we really respect about your characteristic, David. All of us here. Thank you for being such a great guest. And so, David, let's just you know go to the beginning of your story because you've come a long way. You started walking since 2008. It has been almost
yeah,
12 years. 2020. Although this year is a bit a hard hassle because there's literally a huge like interruption in your guys in whatever in your travel vlogging, your travel vlogs and your travel experiences. But you know, let's just go back to the roots of David. David, what made David Hoffman the man he is today? How did
okay.
he grow to become the very talented and famous travel vlogger?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of my like beginning, I guess it's been a while since I've told this story, but I'm born here in Miami, Florida. My parents are immigrants. They were born in Venezuela. They came here to study and then eventually stayed here. And so I have an older sister, a younger brother, and me. And I went through a lot of weird, hard times when I was younger. My parents had money, and then one day my dad wasn't making money. Real estate was bad, and it was just it really it changed something in me. Like not having money, eventually leaving our house. We lost the house. We had to move into my grandmother's house. I remember eating like peanut butter jelly sandwiches for a few days. I just remember that, like not having food just because we didn't have any money to buy food. And then going through that really changed the way I saw my life and the world. I had a lot of friends that did have a lot of money. So like even, feeling the, nothing, but then seeing that they had money really drove me to just, become an entrepreneur and a hustler. That's my main thing was when I was growing up is always have a business. I always had a business since I was like 12 years old. I did everything. I mean, I sold the pixie sticks. I did car washes. I sold mangoes on the street. I was known in high school as the muffin man because I would come to school every single day for 4 years with a bag of muffins, and I would sell out in like 2 hours. So 36 muffins. So every single day for 4 years of school, I made $30 a day. Maybe a little less because you have to factor in the cost of buying the muffins. But that was me just going through seeing your parents suffer, seeing the family suffer, leaving school. I had to leave private school into public school. I didn't have any friends because I wanted to be with my other friends. So just going through this it's like almost like post-traumatic stress in a way, when you're stressed about, you don't know what's happening in your life. Sort of like how you feel right now. Some people, like what's going to happen. But yeah, so that really drove me. Then fortunately, my father started making, money again. During high school, he started making like real money. And then we started being able to travel. That was a big thing, because before that I couldn't travel because we just didn't have funds, and I remember a lot of my friends were traveling, Bahamas, etc., and I couldn't go, I couldn't do anything. But then we eventually could. And then, when I was making money, when I started really making money, when I was 18, when I started doing real estate, I mean, when you're making, I don't know, $20,000-$30,000 a year and you have no expenses, it's crazy money. So then I started, just traveling and just doing it as much as I could, buy a ticket, train ticket, stay in a motel, doing my life and just and try my best to enjoy it. And that's sort of how it went. That's I guess the motivation, coming, like having finances and then not having it, and these roller coasters. I mean, I feel like if you don't go through that, you never really appreciate the $1,000 phone, the $150 this, just because you don't know what it is to, like, to not have it and then to earn it, is a great feeling. And that's why I wake up every day and I just thank God I'm alive. That's number one. I'm alive, good health, my kids are good. That's enough. Everything else is a plus.
That was very motivational and
That's
So
great.
David, you mentioned that you have visited India about 4 times.
4 times.
So what is it about India that makes you want to travel and again and again?
Dude, it's diversity. I think the diversity of India, like including, let's say you just add Bangladesh, you add Pakistan, you add Nepal, and then you start, the 28 states plus those 3 countries, and you just, every single one is different, like, I know there's so many, like I went to Bhutan, which is right next to you guys. That was the trip before the pandemic, and just, that's a different world in itself, so like, it's just, everything is different, and that's what I really enjoy about it. So like here in the states, you like the states, they're all different, but they're not like in India different, where one state it's illegal to eat cow or beef, the next state you can do that. One state is pure Muslim, next state is pure Hindu, like, so it's like you have this diversity, and you really get remember how I was talking about, like, going through hard times. In India, you see that everywhere. You see the rich and you see the poor, and then you see, everything. So you really, I think it just changes the way you are inside. You know, I always feel like every trip for me, you know, when I come back home, the what changed, nothing changed here. Everything changed inside me because I went on that journey and I saw and learned so much. But when you go to like India, and I'm sure same in Bangladesh, when you go and you see the extreme levels, and then you know, it just changes something inside that that really makes you humble. You know, it really I feel like I was humble before India, and then now I'm just like everybody's like, you don't care about shoes, you don't care about this. I'm like, dude, I don't care about a car. I don't need a car. I just need to have money in the bank and have more security for my family. You know, that's how I look at it. You know.
It's a very insightful thought that you shared with us, and it's really interesting to see. You know, like all these things are really materialistic in sense, chasing cars, you know, expensive shoes. All you're doing is, you know, working hard to ensure that there's enough security for your family, which is really important. Speaking of family, David, I know you're a family man. You
Mm.
have two wonderful daughters, and yeah, and it's just so wholesome when I look at your Instagram profile. It's just, you know, like
Thank you.
God bless you all. It's just so wholesome to just look at. I mean, I really enjoy when like uh, people, regardless of how famous they are, how successful they are, you know, like take care of their family like you are doing. You know, speaking and how big a role has your family played in your journey of becoming a travel blogger?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. This is it's funny because you know, there's a few people I know, like travel people, and I see them, especially the guys that are single, and nothing against anybody, but I see them and I see the like they, you know, they have huge numbers, etc., but they don't grind every second of every day. And for me, I always was a grinder. I always was, you know, hustling. You know, when I'm awake, I'm making something happen. You know, no matter what. I don't really take time off. I don't care to party anymore. I mean, yeah, I mean, having some wine, some beer is great, but I don't need to go out and like get trashed and come home and like next day be like, you know, like what happened to me last night. You know, sorry, going off a little bit on a tangent there, but
It's
for
fine.
me,
It's fine. It's fine.
having the kids, having the family, having the pressure is a good thing. You know, a lot of people, they're like a lot of friends of mine because I'm in a group text. Hopefully they're not watching, but we're in a group text, and these guys, most of them don't have kids or don't have family, and they're more just chilling. They're traveling, they're making content, but they're not like grinding for something bigger. You know, for me, the passion is there, but the pressure behind is also the extra kick. You know, it's like, why am I, you know, in the kitchen? Why am I? Sometimes, you know, people are like, why are you doing this? Why isn't somebody filming you? And it's like, well, I mean, that costs more money, and I think it's better if I do it. Like even the editing, like sometimes I used to edit. I actually have an editor now, but the editing, I save money and I make it as perfect as it can for me. You know, so yeah, that's you know, it really is a motivation having the family. You know, it's amazing. It's what I've always wanted is to have kids. But they definitely bring a next level of motivation because I'm trying to, like, I look at it, I'm like, by the time she's this age, this is where I want to be. You know, like this is what I want our lives to look like. So there's a lot of motivation. So like every day I wake up and, you know, if I didn't have my family, I would still work all day every day, but you know, having them just it just really helps with the motivation aspect, you know.
And that's just
I think
amazing because um, having a family is like you just can't give up because there's people who are depending on you, right? So that's awesome. Right? I can't, I don't know because I don't work. I'm just 17-year-old, but you're a really good motivation. I'm really happy that I could find someone like you. So you're amazing.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah,
yeah.
having the family, people depend on you, you know. They have to eat, everybody has to live, everything is on you.
You have a weight on your shoulders.
Yeah, and you
What a
got to
very
use that.
what a very pleasant one. And, yeah, and to our viewers out there, as you can see, David has a very uh, motivational approach to life, and we want you all to take life in a similar spirit. And because you see where that has taken him, so have faith in God, work hard, be a hustler, just as he said, and work hard and just be motivated. It just helps a lot. And okay, David, we'll move on to the next part. Okay, so like you talked about how you got into travel blogging, and what was the place that you at best visited in your life? And if you could just give like a short description of the visit. I mean, of course, it was new, it was different, but how does it differ from you visiting a place now where you're very experienced and you know more about different things, about traveling and stuff, and
Okay.
compared to that when you had like first visited abroad?
Okay, yeah, no problem. I guess the first I visited Venezuela when I was very young, and then I went to the Bahamas multiple times before I was like 15. But when I was 15, I went to Spain and Italy for the first time. Basically Europe for the first time, and that was that was the trip that changed my life. That was the one where I said that's why I want to travel because of that trip. I went to two different countries. I spoke Spanish, but I perfected Spanish on that trip just because no one was speaking to me in English. And then when I went to Italy to visit family on that trip, so I went 6 weeks. 1 week was to Italy, and those two experiences combined were the ones that opened my eyes. I mean, obviously, I wasn't a traveler. I was just a regular person going visiting family and friends. And it was the most shocking because different language, different food, different place, different cultures, and that was the most eye opening. So that was back in so I was 15, and so that's almost 19 years ago.
So, David, when did you have the thought to, start your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I mean, I started my YouTube channel like 12 years ago. That was, I guess, when I started my company, 2007. I knew YouTube was like that's where I was going, But back then it wasn't what it is today. People weren't watching compared to now, and it's very different just the way we shoot. I can shoot myself with a camera, and it's like a movie. Before it wasn't like that, so I had to hire somebody. But I started 12 years ago, and in the past 3 years. 3 years ago, I was at 30,000 subscribers, like literally 3 years ago. And then since then, obviously 600,000 something. But that's just because I'm all in. Like I know, just keep releasing, and it keeps working. That's the main thing. And a lot of people ask me like, sorry, I had this question. What do you see yourself when you're 50? Because I'm 34, or 16 years. And they're like, are you still going to be doing YouTube? I'm like, yeah, I'm still going to be doing YouTube. It will be different. It will be different. I won't be like just going on journeys maybe and doing what I'm doing, but I'm still going to my brand is always going to be there. Like I will always, my other endeavors that I'm working on now, YouTube is the backbone. YouTube will bring me the people, the clients, the viewers. So yeah, I believe in YouTube all the way. I mean, for me, there's no better platform. Instagram, Facebook, none of these are anything compared to YouTube.
With you, David. Just the last question. We didn't get. Thank you for the time, David. It was great. There's just one last question before we part ways. The question that at the time for at the end, all of us we had like traveling is a very awesome experience. I mean, I've been to a few countries. By the way, I've been to a few countries within Asia, and I've been to Saudi Arabia and for religious reasons. It's just that every time I travel to destinations, it was so eye-opening, and there was just so many things to see, and that's what like probably for a lot of us, we all have aims to become, like uh, aims to become something in our life. For example, Alan wants to be an engineer, Fardin wants to be a great business magnet, Shan wants to be an architect, Adin wants to be a software engineer, I want to be a financial accountant. But we all at one point, actually now that we're talking to you guys, last week we talked to Mark Means. If you know him, he's a very popular blogger.
Yeah.
So we, watching videos of traveling and like people eating food, like travel vlogging, food vlogging, really encouraged us to, at one point, like maybe if we wanted to, we could just, like part-time travel vlog, like because traveling, traveling the world, seeing God's beautiful creation, who doesn't want to do that, right? So, and there are plenty of people, especially in Bangladesh, wanting to do that. They're currently, confined within Bangladesh because it costs a lot to travel to other countries, and plus the average income in Bangladesh is quite low, although it's increasing by day by day. But and to all those, like upcoming uprising food bloggers, travel bloggers, whatever they might be, trying to enter the travel industry in Bangladesh or in any country, they all will face some sort of barrier or the other, whether it's the society not accepting them, or financial problem, financial limitations, and all other different kinds of limitations. So you
Okay.
have been through all, as you said, you had a hard childhood, and we're really sorry for that. I mean, that was really emotional, and we're happy.
I'm not sorry at all. Don't worry.
I mean, we're happy that like you grew up to be the man you are today. So a lot of people are going through like have these restrictions which like stop them from becoming the travel blogger they want to be, or the food blogger they want to be. So you being David Hoffmann, a very successful travel blogger, what is the piece of advice that you would like to give to them? Like the priceless piece of advice that would be, like I'm pretty sure a lot of our viewers would love to be travel bloggers. Maybe not full time, part time, and your advice would be very, very significant advice.
Yeah. Okay. First off, I don't believe in part-time. You can't do it part-time. You will never succeed. But I think the main thing is to have a clear vision of what you want to do. That's the goal. I mean, that's what you should have as like, to be able to make something happen, you have to have a clear vision. What do you want to do? For me, it was first, I want to travel the world and make a career out of it. And I want to see every country. I want to eat as much food as possible. I mean, I already had like a vague idea in the beginning. Now I have a more focused idea of like where I see myself, the next 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, and what I want to do, what type of name I want to be. Like I want to be number one in independent travel, not food, not culture, independent travel. Person who showing people how they can travel independently. That's like me. I want to be the number one name, right? That for that. Almost like Anthony Bourdain was like the most famous, travel host, food travel host. For me, it's more about being the number one name for independent travel. I can never compete with Mark or the Best Ever Food Review Show or Trevor in terms of food, only purely food content. And that's not what I want to do. That's why mine's a mix, right? Because I'm trying to show people the mix, the real thing, as like really how you travel. So I think the main thing telling anybody who wants to start is have a vision and then go and produce. One thing I gotta say is like, if you stop creating, like once you start, you can't stop. Like your show right now, this can never stop. If it stops, then you're gonna stop. You're gonna fail. So you have to always go. And the more you create, the more people you'll impact, and the more everything will change for you, for your family, for the people who are following you, who are inspired by you. So I think that's the best piece of advice I can give is that, figure out your vision, or at least a vague idea of what you want to do, and go and start.
All right. That was an excellent piece of advice there from David. Thank you, David, for dedicating some time to listen to our requests. We're not really big people. We're just a really small people starting this initiative. We really appreciate you. We really appreciate you putting into the time. And so, guys, I hope you guys. That's probably it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. David had some very essential information to share for not only travel bloggers, but in any field of occupation that you want to go into, because it's all just perseverance and working hard, hustle, and yeah. So yeah, I mean, we really hope you guys liked it. Or did you have something to say?
Yep. If you liked it, smash the like button and subscribe to our channel to show some love and support.
Yes. Turn on the notification bell as well. And last question, David. Do you think our viewers should subscribe to your channel, to our channel, and follow our?
Yeah.
You know?
Do I think they should follow you guys? Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah, you
you.
see, we have David Hoffmann's approval. We're pretty genuine. You can follow us. We'll try to motivate you to the best of your abilities. And we'll also leave David's socials down below. So, of course, this episode wouldn't be possible by God's grace and if you weren't part of it. And so, thank you, David. Be
No,
sure,
thank you guys.
thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Be sure to check out David's profiles, his Instagram. We'll all leave it in the description below. Check out our Instagram page, the Dinner Convo. We'll be posting regular updates. Our next episode will be coming next Saturday. So yeah, thank you, David, once again. And you guys definitely follow him. He is an awesome content creator. I mean, we were blown away. And there's a reason he's a guest here. We usually take, personalities who are blowing our mind away. That's who we invite as guests. And thank you, David. We wish you all the best. Hopefully, the pandemic will be over soon by the grace of God, and you can go back to traveling, documenting awesome experiences, and sharing with us. So,
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so
for
much.
your-
Bye-bye.
Thank you for
And
coming.
thank you so much for coming.
Okay,
Thank you.
so thank you guys.
Have a good day.
Stay tuned, guys. And stay tuned for turn on the notification bell. You'll get all the notifications so you know when we upload next. And once again, the most important thing to take away from this video are David's lessons. And one more thing, follow him on social media and subscribe to his YouTube channel. Do that, guys. I hope you all have a fantastic week. Goodbye.